Oh, what a lovely day!
In this wasteland, I am the one who runs from both the living and the dead. A man reduced to a single instinct. Survive.
What is up, YouTubers? Welcome to another episode of Jake and Jake at Night. I'm Jake.
And I'm Jacob. It has been a long time since we've been back, since December, since the end of last year. And now it is May, and Jake is out of college, and we are here to bring you a summer of movie reviews, starting the year with Mad Max. It's the number 4 in a series of Mad Max films, but you don't need to see the other 3 in order to understand what's going on in this one. Now let's run down kind of the main plot synopsis of what happens in here. So the main character of Max, who's played by Tom Hardy, not Jake actually, Bane himself, and it's a post-apocalyptic world. Everybody is just nuts. I mean, everybody is crazy. They have these tumors on their legs, you know, and just people are not really human. And what this movie does really well is it shows so much by telling you so little.
Yeah.
There's hardly any dialogue in the film, but yet the visuals tell so much about what's happening in the story, and there isn't a huge story to be found there, but just based on little tiny pieces of dialogue and just what you see, you can infer about what's happening, and there's so much story detail without actually having a huge story.
You do get the emotionality, and like we've been talking about, there's not very much talking, although emotionality, this is where I think good acting goes great, is when you can portray that through the body language.
Yeah.
That body language transcending through the screen to
Absolutely.
the viewer. I mean, it's like the excitement coalition of like 30 different movies slam packed into one, and you take like all the people's jibber jab out, and it's pretty stinking awesome. I really enjoyed just seeing, also I'm a car guy, seeing kind of what the guys did, the mechanics, the techs did with these awesome old school like hot rodding themed trucking style, make them into these like cool road wars. I thought that was really sweet. The cars themselves are kind of like their own characters, or they're symbols and representations for the people that are driving them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a very violent movie. It's just off the wall, insane. It's crazy, and all the actors do a very good job portraying their roles. Though, like we said, there's not much dialogue, so it's not like it's a terribly hard job for them dialogue-wise, but action-wise, they did such a brilliant job. Tom Hardy is great at portraying action. I mean, you saw that as when he played Bane in The Dark Knight Rises, and he does it again here, where everything that he does is so believable. And Charlize Theron, who plays Furiosa, who is arguably the main character in the movie, not Tom Hardy, and she is just, she is amazing. She's a great character. And this movie really has a strong female lead. And for females out there, though it may not be a female movie, you have better female characters in this movie than you do in Pitch Perfect. So that's the one you should have seen this last weekend. Just saying.
I love that they, just like the girl power in that, it was really strong. But also they made them, you know, there's not this common theme we see where like this, where femininity is seen as weak, but really in this one they're seen as like
strong.
They're strong.
Yeah.
They're BA. I mean, Charlize Theron, I won't do any spoilers, but let's just say she does a good job of fighting back, and like she really pounds on any guy that got in her way in that movie.
She has a robotic arm that is just really cool. And in fact, I'm going to go out there and say it may be the most entertaining movie I've ever seen in my entire life. Is it the best movie I've ever seen? No. But it's the most entertaining I've been watching a movie in a theater in at least a very, very long time.
Yeah, for continual action, I definitely give it the A+. It's one of the few movies that for an hour and a half, 2 hours, you don't mind seeing constant carnage and chaos.
Exactly. It's just you're entertained the entire time. You're on the edge of your seat. It's so suspenseful. And what I loved about it is it's all practical effects. Not all, but for the most part, it's practical effects. There is, I read a thing online saying that 80% of this movie is done on practical effects. And the only thing that they used visual effects for and CGI was for the sandstorm scene, and just to like enhance some of the scenes just a tad. Those explosions and people hanging on those little stick things going back and forth across the camera, that's real.
That's happening.
And that's what made it so entertaining.
I think that idea of like practical effects really makes great movies, like good movies, great.
You can see what's happening. You're not really confused about any of the action stuff, and like I said, you see it. It's not like something that it starts to show the action then cuts away. You know, you actually see it. You actually see the guys' faces getting torn off and just crazy things. And that's what I think is so cool about it. It doesn't hold back, you know?
Definitely, it's not very apologetic. You better go in knowing not to bring your 13-year-old child under. They will have nightmares. And I love the villains, how they're kind of like these, it's almost cartoony or superhero-like, the villains in it, but they're also believable in this setting. So, I'm going to use Star Wars because it's still coming up. Darth Vader, not cartoony whatsoever, but there's kind of this over-dramatic villain. And then, same thing with the Immortan. He's just kind of like this overarching and very powerful villain that you wouldn't get in reality, but it's very believable in the setting.
Exactly. That's the way I felt about the Immortan Joe, who is the main villain in this one. He was very much like a white Darth Vader.
He was, yeah.
Because, I mean, he has the breathing apparatus, and he's just like old and scarred. And so I was just like, huh. Every character has a point to be there. There was a point for every scene to be on screen. And this movie was 2 hours long. It felt like it was only 1 hour because it was so fast, but it could have been 3 hours, and I would have been totally okay with that.
Definitely. It kept the fast pace going all the way through.
And now it's time to give you guys our letter grades.
I really enjoyed it for the cars, and just the lack of words for me made it really worthwhile. The negatives really aren't big enough to just drop it full letters, but I give it an A- just because I do believe this is one of the movies that if we were to make a sequel, they can keep making it better.
Yeah.
A- for me.
And I'm going to go just one step above and give it an A. I was highly entertained by it. Like I said, one of the most entertaining times I've ever had at a movie theater in my entire life. And that's a huge statement because I've seen a ton of movies. I want to see more of this world. I absolutely love this movie. And there's hardly anything wrong with it.
Alright guys, well this is our review. It's been a lovely day, and my name's Jake.
I'm Jacob. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. We'll have a ton of more reviews coming out for you guys this summer. All the big releases. Next week will be Tomorrowland, so you guys subscribe and get those. Thank you guys so much for watching, and peace out.